Hello everybody, my opinion on the Alfa Romeo 4C is already fairly well known because I have in fact reviewed one twice, yes, the same car. In summary, here's what I think. Very pretty car, some fun things like the carbon tub. Overall, the interior as standard feels really super cheap and nasty, and I don't understand why Alfa Romeo chose to make something that was such an obviously hardcore driver's car, give it no power steering, but then fit it exclusively with this turbocharged engine and a dual clutch gearbox. However, that being said, prejudices and Lotus love aside, I do find the 4C to be a very fun, if flawed vehicle, because as standard, it will do what all journalists warned you about, i.e. try and throw you at every single hedge that it can find. Today's vehicle is not entirely standard. It's different from the last one that I drove in a couple of ways. First off, it's black, not white. Secondly, it's a coupe. It's also got fabric seats, which I didn't realise was even an option in a 4C, and I really don't like them. However, I have here the list of modifications. It has, courtesy of Alfaworks, a hybrid turbo with a remapped ECU, putting out about 340 horsepower. It's also got single weight adjustable nitrons, the racing geometry spacers, ball joints, etc., upgraded brake hoses and pads, OZ ultralight wheels with Michelin Pilot Sport 4S at the back and I believe 4 at the fronts, and a Quicksilver active valve exhaust system, which, because it's Bluetooth controlled, is jammed in loud mode. So I've got about 5 minutes before these roads get unbearably busy to work out whether, if you own a 4C, you want to do all of this to it. Let's get cracking, shall we? This car has one trait that I cannot remember experiencing in Steve's car. When you go to change up, and I'm in dynamic mode, but in normal it will do it a little bit as well, you get a bit of the torque push that you get in some very sporty cars. But even in the sportiest of sporty vehicles, it shouldn't do it at 30 miles an hour. Okay, it wasn't so bad then, but you're going along, and it just sort of shoves you forwards. Not quite sure why. I don't know if the gearbox on this car was remapped at the same time as the engine. I never had any problems with the gearbox in Steve's car. It was actually pretty okay. Still don't like these paddles or the rest of the interior, but that's not what we're here about today. We're here about how this car now goes down a country road. Well, the effect, I can tell you, of all of those changes is indeed transformative, but it's not all positive. So let's break it down a bit. The car is definitely quicker than the last time I drove one of these, which was running just shy of 300 horsepower, but it seems to have come at a cost of some response. Low down, it seems even laggier than before, and when the turbo's spinning, it's certainly responsive enough, but it now sounds, well, terrifying. It sounds like I'm being chased down the road by some really knocked off witch that I've forgotten to say has done her hair all lovely. I mean, listen to it. That's a terrifying noise for a car to make. The gearbox, I don't like what's going on with this gearbox. Low speed, no. All wrong indeed. However, there's some positives, absolutely are. The car no longer wants to throw you into every single bit of greenery that it can find. It is now somewhat content to stay vaguely on the grey bit between the two white lines. Anyone that's driven a regular 4C will be able to look at a road like this and know that I'm not lying when I say that the normal car would want to chuck you straight off of it. Like a rigged game of Buckaroo. I can't say that I really notice a difference on the braking between this car and the regular one. The ride is still reasonably firm, as you would, to be honest, expect it to be of a car with these dimensions. From above, the 4C is pretty much a square. However, when you get up to speed, sort of up towards the national speed limit, it does take on a sort of, not floatiness, but a suppleness that I think is certainly improved over the standard car. Unfortunately, all of these upgrades have indeed come at a cost, and not simply the price I'm talking about here. The car has lost its absolutely psychopathic handling tendencies, but I'm pretty convinced it's also lost a little bit of the fun too. My buddy Steve's car doesn't have the full race setup that this one does. He's got the middle of the road setup from Alfaworks. I think for road use, that probably is the best compromise. This car's current owner is pondering keeping it or selling it. However, if he keeps it, he's gonna go the whole hog and go for the full 2-litre Alfaworks conversion. I haven't driven a car so equipped, and I doubt there's very many out there because it's incredibly expensive. But if that gave this car a little bit of its responsiveness back, then it would take on a whole different feel, and it would genuinely be pretty much supercar quick, certainly on road. It's capable enough, and you can do some stupid things in bends with this car. That gearbox, I don't like getting the slap in the back of the head. It reminds me of the really early days of single clutch boxes. The original smart car, anyone remember the gearbox in that? I'm going to change gear. Thump! Yeah, I'm going to ask if something's been done to this car, or whether maybe the software has just improved as the car aged when the Spider came out. But I have to say, overall, if I already owned a 4C stock one, I definitely get the interim camber plates of shims or whatever they're called done. The rest of it, I don't think I'd bother. You can't even hear that Quicksilver exhaust over the obscene air noises that this thing's creating. So, there we have it. That's a few minutes in a modified Alfa Romeo 4C. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment below, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all for the next one. Bye-bye.